Welcome to this presentation about the 17th Annual Great Backyard Bird Count, often called the GBBC for short. We'll walk through the steps it takes to join birdwatchers from around the world, all counting birds from February 14th to the 17th and reporting them online at birdcount.org. It's easy and it's fun. The GBBC is led by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology and the National Audubon Society, with Canadian partner Bird Studies Canada. Because the GBBC has been merged with the eBird online checklist program, anyone with an internet connection anywhere in the world can take part. All ages and skill levels are very welcome. Because of the eBird connection, you can keep track of your own sightings, keep life lists, explore what is being reported by others, and you can keep on reporting your birds year-round through eBird. Though it's called the Great Backyard Bird Count, you can count birds anywhere, at a nearby park, nature center, your schoolyard, or neighborhood, anywhere you find birds. Your observations are important because no single scientist or team of scientists could hope to capture so much information about birds around the world in only 4 days. Your information provides a long-term record of how bird populations may be changing over time. Make sure your birds are represented by counting them for the GBBC. During the 2013 count, the first worldwide GBBC, participants from more than 100 countries reported more than 3,600 species. That's about a third of the total bird species in the world. Birdwatchers submitted nearly 135,000 checklists and reported more than 34 million individual birds for the event. It's very important that we all count our birds the same way so the information is useful. You can count at any location for at least 15 minutes, but most people watch longer than that. Keep track of the total amount of time you spend watching. Please make your best estimate of the number of individuals of each species you saw. Create a separate bird checklist for each day you participate. Submit a separate checklist for each new location, even if it's on the same day. And you can submit multiple checklists on the same day from the same location if the counts were at different times, early morning and late afternoon, for example. When you're ready to report your results, go to the Great Backyard Bird Count website at birdcount.org and click on the Submit Checklist tab. Data entry begins Friday, February 14th at 7 a.m. Eastern Time in the United States. If you are new to the count or did not take part in 2013, you'll first have to create a free GBBC account. If you already have an account for the GBBC, eBird, or another Cornell Lab citizen science project, please use that same username and password. When you're ready to enter your checklist, you'll first be asked to set the exact location where you were counting. On the screen, click Find it on a map first. On the next screen, fill out the county, state, or province and choose your country from a drop-down menu. When the map comes up, zoom to your location using the online tools or just type the address in the top bar. When you're zoomed in, left-click with your mouse to drop a blue marker, then position and name your location so you can choose it again for future checklists. Those red markers you see are birding hotspots set up by other birdwatchers, and you can use them as your location if you were counting birds there. Next step, the date and effort page. This is where you tell us which date the checklist is for and the type of count you did. Choose traveling if you were walking a trail or driving around. But if you're driving, please break down the route into segments with the same habitat, preferably 5 miles in length or less. Submit a separate checklist for each segment. Choose stationary if you stayed in one place, perhaps watching your feeders from a window. Choose incidental if you're reporting birds you saw while you were doing something else and watching birds was not your primary activity. After you choose the type of count you did, you'll see additional spaces show up below where you mark the time you started, how much total time you spent counting, how many people contributed to the checklist, and the distance covered if it was a traveling count. Now you're on the bird list page showing the species that could be seen in your area in February. In the boxes to the left of the bird names, Enter your best estimate for how many of each species you saw. As soon as you enter a number next to a species, you'll see an Add Details button. Clicking it provides space for you to put in more information about the sighting if you wish. This is especially important if you are reporting something rare or in unusually high numbers. Use this section to add notes on how you identified the bird and even embed a digital image with your checklist. This is really helpful in confirming a rare sighting. If you enter a species or a number of birds that is unusual, you will get a message at the top of the page asking you to fix the item. If you're sure about the sighting, click the green Complete button. Your report will go to a GBBC data reviewer for your area. This is a normal part of the process. You may even be contacted by a reviewer to confirm the sighting. There are several tools and options in the light blue column on the right side of the bird list page. Here you can look for a species in the list using the Jump to Species search bar at the top. You may change the list from taxonomic to alphabetical order and show or hide rare species and subspecies. If a bird you saw does not appear on the main checklist, click the Show Rarities option first. If the species still isn't there, go to Add Species, type the name, and add it to your list. Lower down in this column, you must indicate whether you are submitting a complete checklist of all the birds you were able to identify. The only time you'll select No is if you are deliberately excluding some species from your list. Otherwise, click Yes to indicate you are including everything you could identify. Click Yes even if you saw some birds you could not identify. Then click Submit. You'll get a confirmation page showing the checklist you just sent in. If something isn't right, use the small edit buttons to the right of each entry to make corrections. Now you can choose to print, download, or email yourself a copy of the checklist, or just delete the whole thing and start over. If you were birding with friends and want them to be able to add the list to their GBBC or eBird accounts, click Share with Others in your party. But please do not use this option to send the list to anyone who is not actually birding with you for this checklist. If you have other checklists to enter, you can do so from the blue column, choosing to enter tallies for the same day, a different day, the same location, and so on. So brush up on your birds and plan to be with us for the next Worldwide Great Backyard Bird Count, February 14th through the 17th, 2014. Tell others and invite them to give it a try. You'll find birding tips, gorgeous photos, and suggestions on how you can help promote the count at birdcount.org. Thank you, and enjoy the birds.
Oh.